Hey, this is just this is just my intro. I'm just gonna play a little bit from a video that I found on YouTube this morning, and this is just to listen to because I have a couple points I want to make after. So here it is.
Hello YouTube, Scud here. The topic of today's video is very important. Even though I'm talk about a lot of things, I have a lot to say. This is really what I am here to talk about. This is my true purpose, and this is what Earth has to understand and realize in order for there to be peace and in order for there to be an end to all the evil on the planet. This is all that has to happen. People have to understand this one thing, and everything will change. And this one thing is the truth about the beings which have been called God and Satan in Western culture. Now, let me first clarify that the word God can have different meanings for different people, but especially within religion and even outside of religion, a specific male entity has hijacked the word God and used it to label himself, because he is trying to take credit for being the creator. He wants to be worshipped because to him the most precious thing is worship energy. He exists in a realm of energy, and when you can extract the worship of beings who exist in our realm, it is extremely valuable to them. It puts them in an extremely elated state, uncomprehendable amounts of pleasure by extracting the worship of millions and millions and millions of people on various planets. Well, I should say probably trillions of people. But I'm not sure to the extent of how many planets are actually infected. Now, the being God does not work alone to extract energy from planets. He has a partner, and they have formed a symbiotic relationship, and they work together. The second being is a different race from God's race. He is the head of his own race, but they are very different. And this being is what is referred to as Satan, the devil, Lucifer. He is not a fallen angel. That scripture was fabricated in order to win sympathy or more followers for Satan, because they both want to be worshipped, and they both want to extract energy from Earth, but they work together to get every last drop, because they get more together than they ever would separately. Because people think Satan is rebels against God, and so people with a different mind state will worship Satan, whereas people with another type of mind state will worship God. And really, what they don't understand is both sides are worshiping the same dark force. That they are on the same side, they work together, they're symbiotic, they have the exact same agenda, which is to extract the energy of humans and to feed off.
So wasn't he special? No, I just wanted to make a few points about that guy and what he says. I was listening to him this morning. It was one of the recommended videos that came up, and I'm like, if the Bible, if the biblical characters God and Satan were real, and if the Bible depiction of those two characters was at all correct, I would have to agree with this guy that Satan works for God. He's one of God's lackeys. He's one of God's employees. The Old Testament shows him going to God for permission to do Job bad, to wrong Job. Sorry, it's morning, so the the grasp of the English language is even less up to snuff for me right now. But anyway, all it takes to come up with that kind of stuff is a good imagination. Rather than say there's no such thing as God, and there's no such thing as Satan, there's no such thing as supernatural beings, and the Bible is complete garbage and made up, which I believe it is. Rather than say that, he is basically taking a book that is regarded by a bunch of people as fact when it's not, but that's what people think it is. He's taking a book that is given that much authority by people, and he's coming up with a different spin on it. He's like, okay, well, these characters really do exist, but this verse isn't correct because that's Satan trying to get more worship for himself or get sympathy for himself, and anything in the Bible that's probably not correct, that's Satan trying to get worship for himself. And so he's basically he's halfway accepting the Bible and Christianity, but then he's doing this twist. He's explaining, well, the reason all this has happened is because you've got these two super beings that are both they're vying for, they're trying to suck all this worship and all this energy from the earth and from people on the earth and other planets. All it takes is a good imagination to come up with this. And if you listen to him and you take all that you believe about, that's been drummed into your head since you were a little kid about Christianity or Islam or whatever it is you believe, and put it aside and imagine you have an empty slate and all you know is there's a character named God who's supposed to be good, and there's his arch enemy Satan who's supposed to be bad, and that's all you know. And this guy is filling in the blanks for you. This is how their relationship is. This is how they interact with the world and the universe around them. This is the forces at work that motivate them to do what they do. This is what the human race's relationship is to these supernatural beings, and what purpose we serve to these supernatural beings. He's coming up with he's filling in the blanks for you. He's coming up with his explanation. He's coming up with his own religion. That's all the religion is. It's an explanation for perceived mythical beings. And he's coming up with his own explanation. And clearly he's given it some thought. It's pretty detailed, his explanation. How easy it is to come up with your own religion. Somebody who doesn't believe that there's a God, and doesn't believe there's a Satan, and doesn't believe there's supernatural beings, listens to this, it sounds like, it sounds stupid, but it sounds just as far-fetched as Christianity is, or Islam, or any religion. It's just another made-up thing. So I guess my point is to Christians watching this, it's like, if you've got Lord Stephen Christ, go check out his station, his channel. And this guy, there's people like this, no offense to Lord Stephen Christ. I still haven't, I refuse to have such a closed mind. I don't believe that these people are truly, what they say they are. But then again, who's to say? Anyway, because I don't know, and that's what that's the best atheists can do. We can say we don't know, But I don't believe it. Until I see proof, I don't believe it. And I don't believe this guy is any more real than the stuff in the Bible anyway. So again, the point I'm trying to make, and I'm doing a really shitty job because it's morning again, how easy it is to come up with a religion. And maybe what's to say that 2,000 years ago or 1,500 years ago when Islam was founded or whatever, the same thing didn't happen then. You had some people brainstorming up some ideas to explain supernatural, what they perceived as supernatural things, and the human race's relationship with those supernatural things. They just made it up, and they wrote it down so that 2,000 years ago it can still control our society in mostly negative ways. I'm sorry, but if it's that easy to come up with a religion, which clearly people like this guy show, it's really, really easy. In fact, if I really wanted to, I could probably come up with some ideas myself for these characters and how they work, and explain away how the Bible was created and Christianity and everything, and come up with my own religion. I'm sure I could too. I'm sure most people with any sense of an imagination, any kind of imagination, could come up with their own religion that sounds plausible if somebody has magical thinking enough, you know. That's the key ingredient here. If you don't have the magical thinking, it's all bullshit. It sounds like bullshit as much as all the other bullshit sounds like bullshit. You know, this is just as much bullshit to me, what this guy's saying, as Christianity is bullshit to me. So, again, Christians think that their religion is so special. No, it's just another spin of bullshit that somebody made up 2,000 years ago. You know, if this guy here wrote down his ideas and he wrote down what he's saying right now, and somehow 2,000 years from now or 1,500 years from now or whatever, somebody came across his writings, would they be taken as, ooh, this is a religion, this guy was a prophet, you know? So anyway, that's just the point I wanted to make. Short video, or at least it seems like it is. I don't know. When I ramble, it sometimes goes on and it gets longer than I think. So I'm going to end this. But yeah, I just want to make a point. I don't think Christianity is special. I think it's just one more spin of somebody trying to figure out the forces of the universe and give them personas and put them into positions of whatever that. Anyway, so thanks for watching if you have. Bye.